Welcome back, everybody. This is the thejonnymar, and I am continuing with Final Fantasy III for the PSP. So in between episodes, I did a little bit of level grinding up to level 55 with all my party members, and this is the calm before the storm, because we are going to be heading into the Crystal Tower for one quick dive to the point of no return. So there is a point in the Crystal Tower after which you have to basically finish the game. And you'll have to do a boss gauntlet as well as take on the final boss of the game. So what we're going to be doing in this episode is heading down through the Crystal Tower, picking up all of the chests, and then right before that point of no return, which is a giant mirror that you do not want to look into, we're going to teleport out. I'm going to do some more in-depth level grinding, sell off all my stuff, and also pick up some items. So here we're going to use the key to open up the Crystal Tower, and then we're going to start our journey down. It's about 4 or 5 floors of pretty powerful enemies and some decent treasure, including a full set of crystal equipment if you're using a melee/armored character class, but also a lot of elixirs and Phoenix Downs. And most of the enemies down here will be ones you've seen before, but also some new ones. You're going to face a lot of kind of mid-boss or sub-boss type enemies. And then there are a few pretty powerful enemies as well that you can face as random encounters. So those are the dragons. So there are actually elemental dragons in this game. And they can randomly appear. Now they're rare encounters, so you're not going to see them very often. But if you do, you're going to be in for a fight, because they have upwards of 80,000 hit points each. You're also going to see these palette swaps of previous bosses and also previous enemy types. But let's talk a little bit about the final boss gauntlet. So once you hit the point of no return, you're going to have to face multiple bosses in a row, and you will not have a chance to exit out and save or level up or heal, except using your existing magic and also equipment and items that you have. So again, I'm going to try to be very clear about when that point is, and I'm also going to do a bunch of level grinding to make sure my party is up to the task of beating those final bosses. So in terms of where you want to be at when it comes to your levels, I like to be around level 65. And that's not so much for being at level 65, but it's rather more so for being at that level for hit point purposes. So getting to about level 65 puts me at about 4,000 hit points for each of my party members. Now you can certainly do the final bosses at a lower level with less hit points. It's just that the final boss is going to be much more difficult, because it attacks 4 times per turn, and it can do a party-wide attack that does upwards of 1,500 to sometimes 2,000 damage. So at a lower level, you're going to have to spam healing with multiple characters much more often and also get lucky. Whereas at about 4,000 hit points, you can more comfortably take on the boss and not worry so much about getting wiped and having to redo the entire boss gauntlet as well as the final boss. That whole process, once we hit the point of no return, is probably going to take about an hour. So that's a lot of time to make up if you have to redo it. Now, if you're playing the PC version, that game does have autosaves. So if you do get wiped by one of the final bosses, you can actually restart from that boss. But in this version, which is the PSP version, you do not get those autosaves. So essentially you have to redo all of it. So for my level grinding, I'm actually going to head back to the Cave of Bahamut, because that area tends to be the best, in my opinion, for level grinding. The enemy groups there are pretty easy to kill. You can take them out fairly fast with physical attacks, and they give you pretty good experience, around 4,000 to about 6,000 experience per battle. So while there are certainly enemies in the Crystal Tower, for example, that may give you more experience per encounter, you're going to take a lot more damage fighting those enemies, and it's going to take a lot longer. So the investment on return, in terms of the time, is much better leveling up in Bahamut's Cave on the floating continent. So it should take probably about an hour to 2 hours, I would imagine, to gain the 10 levels to get up to level 65. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to be changing all of my classes over to high vitality classes. And that's again to get the most out of my HP gains at level up as possible. So essentially I'm going to have everybody be a black belt. Black belts have the highest vitality in the game. And so that will, again, maximize the amount of hit points that I get. Another Phoenix down here. Certainly appreciated, although hopefully I will never have to use them. The elixirs, I might have to use those. So we have a few more chests on this floor. And then we have a couple more floors left until the point of no return. So it's starting to get a little bit windy, and the floors are actually going to have some extra areas that are trying to throw you off and make you go that way to get into additional encounters. So if you just head north here, you'll head down to the next floor. If you come around the side, it's actually a dead end. There's nothing back here. So it's a big waste of time. So we're going to head down to the next floor, which is actually the most infamous floor in the sense that you want to go to the right. If you go to the left, there's a big windy path that leads to a dead end. And we do not want to do that, because that will give you a ton of random encounters that are going to wear your party down. Now, I'm not sure if this is actually the first floor where you can encounter dragons, but I know this is the first floor where I've started to encounter dragons. So start to be aware that they could start attacking you on this floor, perhaps on other floors as well. But man, this encounter rate. It's not too bad, because I'm able to take out most of the enemies fairly fast with my physical attacks, but it really is obnoxious. So there are chests to the left and the right of the main center column here. So we're going to run back and forth and grab those. If you're not interested in the chest, you can just head to the north, and that'll take you to the next floor. So we are now one floor away from the point of no return. So warning, warning, it's coming up. And the encounter rate continues to just be obnoxiously high. So in addition to level grinding, I'm also going to head back down to Eureka, and I'm going to buy as many shurikens as I can. Because I'm going to be using my ninja pretty often during the final boss gauntlet, as well as the final boss encounter. Alright, so this is the final free floor. So there are 4 chests on this floor, and then once you head through the door at the top at the north, that'll take you into the point of no return room. Now you can actually head into that room and still progress a little bit, but you do not want to get too close to the mirror at the center of the room, because that will activate the cutscenes that will lead to the final area of the game and lock you into doing those encounters. So let's pick up these last few chests. I will head into the final room. I will stop at the point right before the point of no return. I'll go do my level grinding, and then I'll come back and we will progress forward. Let's head up the stairs, into the room, head forward a few steps, and then I will see you in a little bit. Alright, so I am back. I have done all of my level grinding. It took about an hour and a half in Bahamut's Cave. I got up to level 65 with all of my party members. Got my HP up to about 4,000 for everybody. And I also headed back down to Eureka, and I bought a ton of shurikens. I think I have about 30 shurikens now. So my party is pretty much ready for the final gauntlet. Let's see if I can find the shurikens here, make sure that's how many I had. I think I had over 1 million gold, and I spent it all on shurikens. So they're pretty important. But yeah, I have a stock of about 30. You don't have to use the shurikens on every encounter, so around 20 is probably good, or 15. But I like to have as many as possible. Let's head forward and activate this mirror. Oh no, it's our reflections. Are we gonna have to fight them? The Curse of the 5 Worms. No, it's just gonna freeze us so that we can't move. I guess we're just gonna stand here forever, or until we die of hunger and thirst. We can still bob up and down, though. That's possible. But who is this mysterious voice? It's Doga! Of course Doga's not dead. Remember, Doga and Unai said that they were going to live forever, and that their souls could never be destroyed. But he's going to head out and try to find 5 pure souls to break the curse. So I wonder who these souls are going to be. I like how he's like, I'll be right back. We're like, okay, we're not really doing anything, we'll just wait. So the first pure soul is the princess. So Princess Sarah's kind of just chilling in her room here. And then all of a sudden, a weird old man is going to show up in her room. She's like, oh, hey. And he's like, hey, Angus is in trouble. You must come with me. And then he gives her some line about, you must be pure of heart to break the curse of the worm. And she's like, really? Okay, sure. I have no idea who you are and what your motives are, but I'll come with you. No problem. So who's number 2 going to be? Try to make a guess about who these 5 souls are going to be. We're in Canaan. And so the second soul is, of course, Sid's wife. No, it's actually Sid. I think it would be a nice twist if it was Sid's wife instead. Sid, we need your help. Will you come with me? And Sid's like, Luneth's in trouble? He didn't really mention Luneth, but maybe he knows Doga. So who's the third pure soul? What the what? This is the Tower of Owen. There's no pure souls in here. Just enemies. And the carcass of Medusa. No one to find, Doga. Dash? He's supposed to be dead. Oh man. Don't tell me Dash's death was a fake out. Ah yes, setting the tradition of Final Fantasy games with fake out deaths. With the biggest culprit being Final Fantasy IV, of course. But Dash is perfectly fine. I mean, he was an ancient, and ancients have MacGuffin powers to stay alive. Plot-related armor, I guess. So he has no idea who Doga is, but he will come along as well because we mentioned Refia. Let's go, Dash. So I wonder if that means that Doga can bring back Arya as well, the priestess of the Water Temple. So this looks like Saronia. And it is King Alice. So he is our 4th pure soul. And we have to sit here and watch as he conducts court. Come on, get on with it. Let's go, let's go. We got lots to do. Ark and his friends need your help. Ark is in trouble? Well, then I'm in. So who's the 5th soul gonna be? The only one left I can think of is Arya, but she's dead, right? This town. You don't think it's these guys? What? These guys are a joke. Really? One of the old men, Gramps, is going to be the 5th soul? Well, I guess Arya is going to stay dead. That's a bit surprising. But here we go, we have Gramps as the 5th soul. So Princess Sarah, Sid, Desh, Gramps, and King Alice. And basically, they're just going to stand in front of the worms and I guess break the line of sight, and that will break the curse. But that is going to allow us to move again, and then we're going to head into the mirror to take on the darkness. And we'll do that starting in my next episode. So as always, viewers, thank you for the continued support. I really do appreciate it. And next time we start the final boss gauntlets. So long. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please press like and leave a comment below. Please also subscribe to my channel and press the notification bell. See you next time.